Aloha, my name is Robert and welcome back to the Ne'epapa Kahana Online Professional Development for the Canoe project. Today we'll be talking about Module 5 of 15. So to begin, let's go ahead and go back to our website www.stemd2.com. That's www.stemd2.com. After you've logged in, let's go ahead and go to Students and let's build a canoe. Now we're going to go down to Unit 2, which is where Module 5 is in the Go Math book. From here, we're going to go down to Module 5. Here are the activities for Module 5, which is about writing linear equations. The first activity that we'll be discussing is Canoe 5.1.2. This is the second activity that corresponds with Lesson 5.1 in the Go Math book. In this activity, we will be looking at 3 canoe clubs: the Pa'ina brothers, the Holo Holo sisters, and the Kolohe crew. So these 3 canoe clubs are right now in the ocean, but they need to come home. So for the last 2 hours, they've been paddling as fast as they can. Over here is a graph that shows the distance from home over time. So for example, the Pa'ina brothers are 40 miles away from home when they start paddling. And as they've been paddling for the last 2 hours, their distance from home decreases. In this activity, the students are asked to interpret the graph. So first they gotta find out where on the y-axis is home. And then the students have to look at the 3 lines and figure out the equations of them. So the students need an equation for the Pa'ina brothers, the Holo Holo sisters, and the Kolohe crew. From the equations which come from the graphs, the students need to figure out when do these canoe clubs come home. And then they need to find out the order. Over here we need to rearrange the 3 canoe clubs into the order that we think that they came home. Although we may not explicitly ask for it, we want the students to interpret both the y-intercept and the x-intercept. That's it for this activity. Please go ahead and take some time to read and reflect on it. Welcome back. The next activity that we'll be looking at is Canoe 5.2.1. This is the first activity that corresponds with Lesson 5.2 in the Go Math book. In this activity, we will be looking at a canoe that has been recently carved. In order to protect the canoe from water, we need to waterproof it. The native Hawaiians protected their canoes by rubbing it with kukui oil and other types of oils. In our canoe, the ends have a fixed size, but the hull has a length of x. Down here we have a table that tells us how much oil, Y, is needed to protect a canoe of hull length x. With this table we can come up with an equation of Y in terms of x. And that's what the first question asks for. And then we have to figure out the real world interpretation of the y-intercept and the slope of this equation. This activity is pretty straightforward, but let's take a look at how it's explained in a teacher's guide. Let's go ahead to Teachers, Teacher's Toolbox, and Canoe Project. Now we're going to go down to the teacher's guide for the Canoe Project. Next, we're going to go to the table of contents. So here we see that Lesson 5.2 is on page 94. So here it is. In the teacher's guide, we explain in a little bit more detail, and we show all the work that's needed in order to solve the problems. So over here we're finding the slope with the points in the table, and then we're finding the y-intercept with the slope-intercept form. Alright, that's it for this activity. Please go ahead and pause the video, read it more carefully, and reflect on it. Alright, welcome back. The next activity we'll be looking at is Canoe 5.3.1. In this activity, we'll be looking at the first 5 seconds of several canoe teams moving down a number line. Over here is a number line showing position, and these dots represent the location of a canoe team at certain times. So you can see here that Team A has a constant speed. So Team A must be moving in a linear way. We can also see that Team A had a head start, and they kept their speed constant. So we choose this. So we're going to do this for Team A, Team B, Team C, and Team D. And then finally, we're going to put all this information together and describe it like a sportscaster. That's it for this activity. Please go ahead and pause the video and reflect on it. Alright, that's it for Module 5. We'll see you later for Module 6.